loyalty to a sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well.
Fabula, now welcome back to yet another very, very important segment. Now we Komon-Tok. Today, when I'm May 9, 2020, we get 4 major issues for look at. 1, the president's speech. Secondly, Pademba Road prison break, riot or attempted. 3rd, the Lunsar saga. 4th, the Tombo Town. Suggestions and recommendations as usual. We all know my name na Mohamed Kago. Now the first thing is for join we. Welcome to We Komon-Tok, and this is the program where they actually for advocate for 1D Salon Force. Make we Salon Force. That's all this program they are about. Anything we're connected to what Salon Force, we the supporter. Now I made this program here day force. You know, the recent ugly developments where they take place in the country don't convince some of us say yes indeed there is a need, an urgent, this a clarion call for make we continue for do the advocacy for let common sense prevail. Now we leaders ahead. You know, I can tell some of my friends this. There is no problem. There is nothing wrong for law we create a department of common sense. Because look at what they happen in the country right now. Salon they on taking time in bomb. It's so sad, unfortunate for saying the statement there. But that is the reality, the sad fact. Yet we are governed, we are ruled by professors, doctors, lawyers, experts, peace and conflict resolutionists. These are people that we don't get too much experience, but yet the book says, if you like say, you don't get none that way they bring come for me. A divisive, retrogression, backwardness, and it is so the seed of discord among one another, among each other. You know, according to quoting Watson correctly, we say the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. These are the correct statements. And this is connected to we leaders. It seems as if we leaders, they know they learn new things, or they just keep on, they do the same mistake over and over again, revenge upon revenge, revenge upon revenge. You know, it makes no sense for keep on doing the wrong thing perfectly, like how they happen in the country. Now, let's start from the president's speech. Listen to the president's speech. We can reanalyze the speech, and then we move on to the next stage.
I want to call on all Sierra Leoneans to celebrate the ties that bind us as a nation, and not the angers that blind us. We convened a national convention that agreed to constitute a permanent commission for peace and national cohesion that will identify and address all triggers of conflict in our nation. Over and over again, I've asked every Sierra Leonean to contribute to building inclusive and resilient national institutions, to consolidate our democracy, and to build a peaceful Sierra Leone. The Sierra Leone relenting barrage of attacks against the state officials, public and private persons, and properties. This harkens back to a public threat issued by the losing presidential candidate that the All People's Congress Party will make the country ungovernable. One would therefore expect that the leadership of the All People's Congress will, like the leadership of other political parties in Sierra Leone, would have publicly and staunchly condemned as well as dissociated the party from any person or groups of persons who incite hate, associate with, and support violence, or participate in violence against the state. They have not. Instead, the leadership has made public statements that have heightened tensions. Evidence emerging from investigations have named known local leaders and members of the APC as being responsible for inciting, planning, financing, mobilizing, and in some cases actively participating in violent terrorist attacks against the people of this country. The silence of the national...
It makes no sense to keep on doing the wrong thing perfectly over and over again. How many times we don't talk to the leaders there? May they exhibit honesty in their dealings, in their ruling, whether they execute their own powers and authority will we give them. How many times will we don't ask the leaders and for make them get empathy for we? Not only sympathy, but empathy. Let them feel we, let them team up now issue. How many times we don't tell the leaders and say, we for come together as one family. Unity not the key, unity not the word, unity not the phrase. Well, for all rally against. Now, if you listen to the president's speech, this is not a speech where it started very well. Talk about the issues that we really happen, but a blunder. A blunder along the line. And this don't just move on to the point. Now that make some of us sometimes will not able to understand the manner in which the leaders and they really see things. When people and they're on the opposition, when they don't get power, then they see things in a different perspective. Then they see things as how if or they. But as soon as they get power or then go and join within the realms of power, they're completely blind. Back then, I make a segment where I talk about the reason why we leaders and they fail. It connected to the advisors. And this is a typical example. With all the professors where this government gets, with all the doctors people always study peace and conflict resolution, even the president studied peace and conflict resolution. And this message of, this is a message of anger, not a message of disunity, not a message of intimidation. For the fact that the president go ahead and use the word of terrorist, come on, we are all one family. We all know these are things where we sit down together, we talk. What maybe they expect the president for talk, now for call on unity, unite with different faction there, make we come together like I start the speech. But rather than his way, impossible, absolutely impossible for making rule any country divide. There is no magic. There is no formula for this, and nobody not in the world where will a country divided. And when you look at when you look at Salon, now just slight difference between APC and SLPP in terms of political strength. So any leader where one use common sense, that I make when they say use common sense, the best you can do now for maneuver, try for bridge the gap. But we they talk about unity, but yet when you check, we don't can talk here against the government. That's not the point. Even if I talk against the government, because I feel not the right thing. Because some people in there, when you talk the two way, puts out facts them, then they brand you for be APC, or then they brand you for be SLPP. Some of we not ever join no political party, another party card, are there on one thing for Salon in better one. Because it out some of we. It a boiling way with a feel because we don't say less. The solutions na Salon, the problem na Salon, artificial problems where we leaders and created, fermented. This government from where kind of power, we see like the world at which then they move on, now a world where then get people around the way now like revenge. Starting from the term will be highlights for the issues where they sack people arbitrarily in our statistics, they sack people in our Wataki, they sack people in our NRA, they sack people, then be just to sack people in a manner in which way, really painful. And President Bio, before he can have power, not to say promising people. In fact, a lot of people be prefer to the then opposition, the APC, to the then candidates, West Nasamura. Because look at us, say, averagely, he's a younger guy, you know, he's a younger man to Samoa, meaning that if we see things in the way, but yet this Kabbalah, this patriotism where we leaders that don't pay to the political party, then they pay more obeisance to the political party dictates, to the people where they preach, where they blow the trumpet of war, where at the end of the day, this not get for born good picking for anything. And the last thing is, President Biowete, I will expect a message of peace, unity, oneness, and fight with common enemy with a coronavirus. But fortunately, this speech don't come with another very sad detention. Now, let's move on to this. Let's move on to the next thing where happen. Now, as we all know, the Pademba will be now one of the most Pademba prison, one of the most secure places in Salon. But yet, we see what happened a few days ago, 1 week ago, where unfortunate incidents take place. And from which we understand, there are political prisoners there, we can put it so, or a very highly profile opposition leaders there, the likes of Paolo Bangura, Albert George Williams, and others waiting at the prison, where rumor be go around say, yeah, they want to use the state of emergency, forget rid of them people here. You know, that make we always put things forward. Back then, when the president be declared the 12-month state of emergency, we are one of the first people will come up with a statement where, as he says, the president in state of emergency is disproportionate. Whatever, because there was no justification for 12 months. During the time they were declared 12-month state of emergency, there was no single coronavirus recorded case, nor death. Yet 12 months. Look at the country where thousands in that. Yet up to now, they don't declare. So there was a problem. I make a segment say, this can be abused. And exactly, it can be abused, it can be misused. Yet, so with parliament now, we stand parliament. Parliamentarian quickly they approve this. It gone. Now look, under the state of emergency, the country is in a very tense situation. We see what's happening. Now, in the Pademba Road prison, this is now one of the most secure places in Salon, Freetown. Yet, we see what's happening. A week ago, where unfortunate incident took place, from what you understand, more than 40 people have died. Of course, this account is different from what the government say. Government for say 8, 12, 14, and so on and so forth. But we all can say government figure not to be the truth. Now, just their own statement, at least for minimize situation. But again, if you look at the thing, the nature at which this happened, would I give them orders and they for keep people inside prison? And from what you understand, now the president in bodyguard them. And again, from what we gather, because of the high profile figures that were in the prison, people, the likes of Paolo Bangura, the likes of Albert Williams, these are threats where through the state of emergency, then beyond use this prison riot, will get rid of them people here once and for all. Again, another version say the APC and the SSF creates, manufactured, plots this team for go make sure say yes indeed, then create an unnecessary situation where it will lead to the release or for freedom people here. All of this they in investigation. But first, we'll listen from an eyewitness in the prison where now prisoner also, and we'll come back for continue.
You go with her. Pamela ready for the factory. Now there. Then they open Paolo by 4:30. They come in the cell one day. Now meeting at the cell. You know the pass with inmates at the yard and not here. Because this back gate, they don't use anymore. So when they pass with inmates, they from up here now walk and go to that other black gate. So that black gate over now like the lion gate. And then they pass with inmates. Immediately that block over so, cell 4 over so.
What's not the block in name?
We be first block.
Cell 4. Okay.
And they meet it. So they pass with nobody in the jail. We are not see.
Due to the gate where you did.
Due to the ceremony that they see the gate and they see over to Ocean and see everybody. We're not going to able to see the back of Clarkson because we saw the critical side. Anybody that pull up here and then they pass with her. You understand?
So we don't get this. So these are the issues where When I would justify this, because even from what you don't hear, so another video come up from this same guy where he refutes this claim saying a lie, be lie, or whatever. So these don't confuse the people. But from the president's statement, you know, like without even waiting for the investigation, you don't pass verdict, say, technically don't point the blame to the opposition, say, now they're responsible, you know. So that this is how we can talk about. We need to create a department of common sense. These are like metaphorically, what's the time for talk? Not to say a structure, a building. We are in for the manner in which we address issues with the rule issues with the navigate or with the carry out with dealings. Because the manner in which the country moves now, if we not take time, we all go regret time, and we pray to God for letting know each other every day. And we all get responsibility. Now they make us say we all get responsibility for letting at least we play our own part. Now, now we move to the other agenda. We're at the Lunsar saga. Now the Lunsar saga. Me, I'm fortunate for working at Lunsar as a deputy manager under the water works. Now we be responsible for the supply water in the entire township for the first time. More than 34, up to more than 40 years ago, when they not get white pipe-borne water. Now we be the supply. So I know a bit of Lunsar. I know they just can't even talk here. Now, the youth there is a vacuum. There is a different. There is a vacuum. There is a complete connection between the ruler, when are the paramount chief Koblo, and the other way they rule in subject. There's complete vacuum. In other words, they're not a meet, not a see eye to eye. Even from the time where the mining company they operate, they be accused for corruption. Then they accuse them for corruption, bribery, and all that stuff. Then at one time, it's so funny, he become technically an employee of one of those companies when I'm London mining, which was shameful as far as me understand. There was one guy, na Lunsar, when Usman Kayanke, when like a youth, of course, the age bracket na salo, you know, say we can do 40, 50, we can say we youth, but then within the brackets where we call an asala street, where like it wields so much power with the youth there, where they're not the CI to with the press, with the paramount. Now all this enforcing account from the reporters that will be the way we go borrow the source from AYV quickly.
Incidents of riots are frequent in recent times, especially in the capital, Freetown. But it seems as if the provinces are about to emulate an example unworthy to be emulated. In Lunsar, the chiefdom headquarter town of Magampa Chiefdom, witnessed an ugly scenario synonymous to that of a jungle. The whole riot started after police at the Lunsar division invited an influential young person for interrogation. Suleiman Kabia, fondly known as Bolgo, was invited on allegation of circulating defamatory statements on social media against Paramount Chief Koblo Queen of Magampa Chiefdom, Pudloko District. Thereafter, youth in their hundreds demanded the release of their colleague, and the denial of this request transformed the whole situation to a chaotic scene. This is an account of what we gathered upon arrival.
Then go right inside the prime bedroom, then take the prime money, start outside of you. Galo can go inside the prime bedroom. Range Rover. Range Rover. The bond in motorcar. Usman Karanke send them.
I've been get a message where they will invite this boy we call himself Lunsar Adebayo. That's what he call himself. So then go for call for invitation. I come. There have been other colleagues there in the tongue, the same and escorter for what we know. So then they try for cause the examination against our what happened. From there now, people inquire the stone. No, not agree. We want to brother.
So this the current situation, now a long outstanding grievances where we don't boil for a long time. This not to today, it don't did there for a very long time. The people that just use them vengeance and for like at least send the hunger to the paramount chief. Like it's difficult now any given situation, any given territory, a town, a country, if you the ruler not in touch with the people that we the rule. If you're not connected to the grassroots or the people and the subjects, then definitely you will one will be very difficult. And these are exactly where they happen as Lunsar. The paramount chief they really suffer. Why? Because they connect to some people. And because of the distrust and accusation where they are against them, with so many examples around where people they give, it don't become difficult for them for label get respect, for label govern. In fact, now the term self, they respect as a paramount chief is minimal. And they talk about the fact. The accusation they did from where they want put that pole, instead of them go put the other side, it's them put an house for they will get 24 hours light. Any goodness we can at the tongue, if we can't turn directly, even when the mining companies will be there, then make sure say most of the motka they take as against the other small guys that the crown way maybe get 1 or 2 motka who they try for slot for let us get a little and nothing. These are one of the issues that we really they unbog that country day, that town day. Now we move on to the other point. Probably the last one, whether the Tombo wahala. The Tombo wahala is unfortunate incident. Now it just happened after we come up from lockdown, 3 days lockdown, where the president announced. Where the regional coordinator for COVID-19, that side they give instructions, say the boats there not for past 10 where they're gonna see. Where from what you understand, more than 200 boats a day. And then people there we have to remember say their livelihood depend on fishing. Their families. And we all know how the country don't do. For like that, these are the point talk. These are the things that what they try to talk about. There's a need for we leaders then try to manage 3 things: honesty, empathy, and unity. The 3 things are very important for any country. If we honest to ourselves, we are able to deliver to waiting the people. We're honest to the people. Anything we try to be honest. We're not able to emphasize the importance of honesty here. We talk about empathy. Feel the person. Team up now the person should in position. You go know. Not go talk about anger. We never sleep angry. You not talk poor man. Not talk about poverty. You not feel that. Gentleman for talk about gently. You know the better of people that will believe her more. Poor man will talk about the feeling about being poor. So with all this, if you try at least, for imagine yourself put yourself in them position of them people in them category, our person is feel. We don't sleep angry. I know waiting angry. So I they talk about angry. I know exactly. So if it's somebody there and they talk about angry, I they understand that very quickly possibly never sleep angry. These are the facts. We see how it comes out. Properties that were worth millions, lives are lost just because of wrong statement where somebody want exercising power. All of in the name of Namidina power, authority, state of emergency, health center, where people have to go in case people are sick now. So that makes sometimes we even talk about, these are the general talk about the common sense. The common sense not only to leaders, to we youth man them, to we people and to we self. Because how you go born health center? Where the health center get anything for do with you, for God's sake? If somebody gets emergency now, especially within this current situation, who's they go take people enough for go admit them? The police station, where for maintain law and order, if you go born them. People in houses there, people in cars there, how is this all connected to your grievance? Of course, we know what the individual in question did was wrong, was totally wrong. Because people are for survive. Now, listen, watch some of the clip and quick and come back.
The policeman I think they go stop the fisherman them. Now they see life. Tomorrow right now the riot. urgently, you see people in the street, they stone the police there, they stop them. And this situation is very hard. Government needs to try to put measures in place for Sierra best that they stop that kind of situation there. Really, you know, say people now they see that they survive. If the people that they survive now they see police and soldiers, they see people in the force going at the sea, and now the police and the soldiers, people are misbehaving, stone. So as we see the street on jumper, different people and then at the street they strike, and because they know that they survive, you know. So as we see the crowd.
So all of this, they move on. And look, but I just want, for now, me on suggestions and recommendation what they make to the president, to the government, to the people of Salone. First and foremost, we call on the Interreligious Council of Salone for make them play an active part. The way we come today right now, we need people to speak out. When you get 5-10 people who they listen to, they follow you, talk to them. Let common sense prevail. See, we don't get no other salon than one salon. No, we don't make mistake. No, we don't use stupidity. Because what you they try for bring at, you know, what you they push at, we're on the brink of going to something where terribly nasty. We call on the journalism for me to report responsibly. May they write responsibly. May they don't fan the flames of fire, danger. Let them not blow the horns or the trumpet of wars. We can't afford it. The civil society organizations, what will be they expect much from them? Well, largely enough, they don't keep silent. Will they call them? This on our time, this, when I act, when I talk to people, when I mix the political divides, the APC, the SLP, the NGC, all, mix them people here. Behind closed doors, open doors, whatever means, when I get a word for play. You they listen me, the responsibility for calm down. The youth man, they're nobody not fool you. The politicians, majority of them, if not all, they're picking them, their family, then they're safe, then they're abroad. And we use you, misuse you, and then you die for nothing for you people. No fan a marketer politician. If politicians are honest, they picking and then they put before for go fight, for riot, for whatever protest, now then they put before. Now they say they fight for you. They say they want fight for you. They want fight for the country. They want fight for the people. Yes, they don't picking them. Then they put them before. Me, brothers and sisters, we cannot afford, I repeat, we cannot afford, if we miss this opportunity, for we try to reorganize ourselves as one family and avoid the tension and come to one single common sense, way for allow peace, stability, and unity for prevail. To the president, this is the wrong time this for make a speech like this. It's uncalled for, it's unacceptable for brand Sierra Leoneans for being terrorists. This is not the time for blame. This is not the blame time. This is not the blame game this. It's not the time for exhibit a true leadership. You cannot, it's impossible to govern a country with divide. It's impossible. Whoever is advising you, behind closed doors, those people, someday, somehow, if something get out of hand, if something get out of hand, now you then will be responsible. Because now you will elect. Now you not the president, now you get for go answer questions.
Platform, oh yeah. Unale we pledge, we love and loyalty to we sweet, sweet mama salute. Now we all come together as well. For tomorrow, now we go make salute. Anytime where you there, it no matter. Try where you be, it no matter. Anything you they do, Points platform. Got one inside Sierra Leone, like a big quantity. We breeze not a shit, TTP-TV. Talking Points platform. Then they give me information about salute. TTP-TV. Talking Point platform. For news every day in our country, salute. For education, entertainment, political affairs, TTP-TV.